Okay, welcome to our AMA today. Today we are gonna showcase and talk about the new collection and collection task and trade task feature, which was just released last weekend. So let's have a walkthrough what NFT Butler does, what it can, what the new features are, how the limits are, and what we can do with it. If anyone has a question, please let me know in the AMA chat or also in one of the other chats, but I'm trying to pay most attention to the AMA chat here. Or you can also, of course, just ask in the voice chat. And for everyone who just joined, we are recording this session just to be aware of it. Okay, so you can see my NFT Butler instance running here. Currently, there is a lot of token bidding tasks running. So just as an explanation, this is a feature we have in place since months already and improved it over the past 6 months. Those are so-called looping tasks where you select entire collections or trades. So here, for example, I selected 3 trades of this Dragonfish Tokyo collection. You can then specify additional filters, like if you only want to bid on certain rankings or if tokens are listed and stuff. And you can then set your bidding strategy by giving it a name, by specifying which wallet should be used for bidding, what is your minimum bid price, here 15% below current floor, up to 10% below current floor. You can define outbidding steps, so how much more do you want to bid if someone else has already bid within this range. You're never going to exceed your maximum bid price, how long these offers should be valid, and the looping task will basically repeat itself and always dynamically adjust those settings when looping again, and it will wait 2 hours. So basically, once the first bid expires, it will start over again with this task. So this is just an explanation what token bidding tasks are. We already have them in our product since long time. And now we do also have collection bidding tasks, which is basically the equivalent on OpenSea to a collection offer. Let me just change to the English side here. And let's go to a collection. So this button here would be the equivalent to collection bidding tasks. And the equivalent of this would be the collection trade bidding task, basically. So here you would bid on the property common on the entire collection. If you don't select anything here, then you would bid on the entire collection, and both of these task types have been added to NFT Butler. Let's have a look where we create those tasks. So I have now changed to the collection search engine within NFT Butler. If your favorite collection is not here, you can add it as a subscription or lifetime member in our Discord through our Discord community bot. For every collection object, you get stats like how many items, how many owners are there, what is the current floor price, what is the highest collection bid, what is the current profit margin if you subtract royalties from the floor price, comparing the highest bid to the floor price, what is the total volume traded and how much sales did we see in the last 7, 30 or 1 day. If you change it here, you will also change the collection stats here. And then you can search for certain filter criteria. So what I usually do is I search for collections who have at least 100 sales in 7 days, just to ensure there is some trading going on those collections. I usually put the minimum floor price of 0.2 ETH and the maximum floor price of something about 2 to 3 ETH. You can also set other filters like what are your maximum royalties. I usually like to bid on collections with maximum 7.5% royalties. This is always including creator and OpenSea royalties, so they are summed up here. You can also search for profit margin, so what are others bidding and what is your expected profit margin just on a collection level. But on collection level, the profit margin is pretty low on all the major collections, so I usually don't use that filter. Here you can also say, okay, collection should be at least 30 days old. And you can also exclude certain collections if trade bidding is enabled or disabled, if it's verified on OpenSea, and if collection bidding is enabled or disabled. So once you have set your filters, you have 4 buttons on every collection. The second button here, the stats button, will basically display the floor price for the past 60 days or the duration it was added to our database. So I use this as a first checkup, how stable is the floor price. Usually I like bidding on collections with a stable floor price to make sure if I get something below floor, I can flip it at least floor price level or slightly above, and you want to seek stable floor prices here. Then the second button is to create a collection bidding task. So here we enter the territory of the new collection bidding tasks. First, you choose which wallet you want to use for. Wallets are added in settings. When you download NFT Butler, you can do this for free on nftbutler.io. It's free to download. You can use the search engine already. You can create your wallet. You can add your Infura keys. You can just not start tasks without the active subscription or a lifetime NFT. Then I can define in what range I want to do collection bidding. So I can say this should be, since the floor price is 0.2, I can say I want to do collection bidding between this price range. And then it will basically set the bid and automatically outbid up to a maximum of this level. Or you can say I want to bid dynamically relative to the floor price. So I want to bid 25% below the floor price up to 20% below the floor price. And this will dynamically change. So whenever every 5 minutes, those collection tasks are going to be reprocessed, and it will always check what is the current floor price and basically adjust those settings relative to the floor price. You can also say I only want to bid when I'm the highest bidder. So this will basically skip bidding if 20% below floor price will not end up as the highest bidder at this point in time. Or you can say, I want to skip bidding when I'm already owning the highest bid. So here it will also check what is the highest bid. If this one is the highest bid and it comes from one of your wallets, then it will not bid again until it expires and there is no more bid, and then it will bid again. Hard cap bid price is an option. If you bid relative to the floor, it's always relative, right? So it depends on how the floor moves, the price will move. So when using this option, you can also set a hard cap bid price. So let's say a whale buys a lot of these NFTs next tomorrow, and the floor price doubles, and is very likely to come down again because a whale bought so many NFTs. So that's what this option is used for. So you can say my maximum hard cap bid price in ETH is 0.2. So regardless of how much the floor price rises, and this value would also rise, you will never bid more than this. You can also set the floor price cap. So this is really a cap. When should this task be running? So you can say this task should only be running as long as the floor price stays within this range. You can only set 1, so you can only say I only want to make this task run as long as the floor price is at least 0.2 or 0.15. So those are all security options, Because the idea of NFT Butler is you configure your task and your strategy, and then you can let it run, right? In the end, it's a numbers game. You're never gonna know when you hit something with your bits. So all these features are really designed. You can do something else, and Butler is running for days, and it will decide based on your settings if a collection should be processed or not. Then this one here is also only for collection bidding tasks, maximum active bits. It sets basically a maximum how many bits can be active at the same time for a collection. So if you set the validity of your bits to 15 minutes, and it's going to process this task every 5 minutes, you will anyway not end up having more than 3 bits active at the time. But this is really just a security setting to ensure you don't have 10 bits active suddenly, since you would expose a lot of liquidity on this collection. So 3 is the default here. I don't want to have more than 3 active bits. So worst case is someone can dump 3 NFTs on me, or maybe also the best case. Depends always, you know, how good the flips are. Last option is if you want to immediately start it, and then you can create a task. So we can see I have a collection task created now, and we do have a new task over here. So this is the collection search engine here. You can filter by collection and trade tasks. Trade tasks right now are having an issues. OpenSea has taken one of their APIs offline yesterday, very unfortunately. And it's the API to retrieve current trade offer level for each trade. They said they should be back online today. I'm pinging them like every 2 hours in the dev chat on OpenSea. Let's hope they are back online. But collection bidding tasks are running fine for right now. My collection task engine is currently running. So you always have to set which tasks should be processed by putting them into the running queue with this play button. And you also need to start the entire engine, which will then process all those tasks every 5 minutes. And you will see logs here. So here I was trying to bid very low. I can see 9 minutes ago it was processing this collection bid. This was the highest offer, but my maximum bid price is set to this. So I will just place my maximum bid price. Then here 3 bits were already active, so it waited for a cycle and it will reprocess it in a minute. You can also check the stats. Also, with some of the bits on the very top here are from your local wallets, they will be marked green, and if not, they are not. So here I'm bidding too low, obviously, and these are my settings right now. Let's have a quick look at the chat. How many collections can be processed at one time? Can I run 10, 20, 30 collections on different trades at the same time? Any reason this max bid at 1.3 is not available for trade bidding? It's also available for trade bidding. So this maximum active tasks, it depends on the task type. So now we are looking at collection and trade tasks. And Alex, what you're talking about is token bidding tasks. I will showcase this in a minute, what's really different. So here we are really bidding on an entire collection or a trade. We will have a look at this in a minute. Max limit 4, you can create more tasks. So for collection bidding tasks here, we have a total limit of 20 collection bidding tasks to run in parallel. Token bidding tasks are different. Here you run maximum 4 in parallel, and you can queue them up as many as you want, and they will loop basically once they processed all the token bits. So now that we saw collection bidding tasks, let's also have a look at trade bidding tasks. So we are now back to the collection search engine. And on every collection, besides stats and token bidding, there is also a drill down into the collection trades. So if you hit this button, we are basically drilling down into the collection, and we can now see new boxes for every trade value pair. So here we can now see in the collection on one force, there is a face called Hanya Mask Obsidian. This trade value pair belongs to 17 items. The current floor price of this trade value pair is 33 ETH. We saw 2 sales in the last 30 days with an average price of 2.3 ETH. 2 are currently listed. These are the royalties. This is the highest bid, and this is the expected profit margin. As you can see, this profit margin is very unlikely to happen, especially if you consider the 30-day average price. So maybe profit span is more going to be like 1 or 1.5 ETH, something like that. Now, on each of those trade boxes, you can also check the stats, and you will get 2 things, so, or more, but like very important is now you can see what was the floor price in the last 60 days compared to the collection floor price. So what was the trade floor price compared to the collection floor price? And before bidding very high on a trade, I always check this graph to make sure there is a clear difference. So this trade has always been traded well above the collection floor price, and therefore looks very safe to go in with higher bidding, because people seem to be ready to pay more for this trade. Then second check I usually do, are there any trade bids? Right now I cannot see any trade bids active here. This might not be 100% accurate. We are using indexers who scan the last 100 trade bids for every collection every few minutes. Maybe we miss sometimes one, but it should be more or less accurate. Then we can see the last sales event, which is also a very important indicator. When did the last sales happen? And if it was recent enough, sorry, I keep losing the thing. If it was recent enough, what price level can I expect on this trade? And we can also see the top 5 listings. Right now there are only 2 listed. So this basically defines the NFT, the trade floor price of this trade. Now from here we have 2 options. We can now again create a trade bidding task, which will just put 1 bid on the entire trade, and same as collection bidding task, reprocess it every 5 minutes. I can do one just to showcase it. Let's put 0.5 ETH, a little bit above the floor price. But this trade seems to be so rare, I can easily sell it for 2 ETH. Let's make it 15 minutes validity, immediately start, create. And that's it. You can now see there is a trade bidding task active for this trade. And you can do the same thing for every other trade. So usually when I go to a new collection here, I would do something like, okay, the collection floor price is 0.5 ETH, so I only want to see trades with a floor price of at least 2 ETH. Maybe also some sold items in the last 30 days. But I only want to see trades which do not have trade bids active above 1 ETH. Okay, and this is what I end up with, and then maybe I sort it by number of assets, because I first want to see which trade has the most items, because if I put 1 trade bid here, I target 172 items. If I target the one on the very end here, I only target 17 items. So here it's those 17 holders, they are going to be aware of their very rare NFT. It's less likely I will hit one of these, but more profitable. Here I target a wider audience, so that's why maybe I will go for this one first. Now let's check the graphs. We can see a clear difference from floor price to the trade floor price. So the trade has always been traded at least a little bit higher than the collection floor price. So I think that would be fine. So let's create the collection bidding task. I take outbid off for now because this is what OpenSea has currently broken on their APIs. The outbidding for trade collection task is currently not running. Let's hope they bring it online as soon as possible. So let's say I want to do this trade 10% below collection floor price with and I only want to run this as long as the collection floor price is at least 0.4 ETH. And I want to start the task and go. Okay, so this is how we do the new trade bidding collection tasks. And I think I saw a question from Surfing Man. One of the very first questions: how many collections can be processed at once? Can I run 10, 20, 30 collections on different trades at the same time? So what we saw now, we can create multiple collection bidding tasks or trade bidding tasks up to 20 running at the same time on the collection task engine. But if you want to process like maybe all of these trades, they all have a minimum floor price of 2 ETH. So let's say you want to process all of them at once. You can also say, I want to choose all of them. So there are some boxes here, and if you click them, you will get additional options. And you can now, on top of these 31 trades, you can create a token bidding task. So you see you have now selected 31 trades, all with its unique stats. And you can now define how you would like to target those tokens. So you can preview first what NFTs would I actually target with this token bidding task. So we are targeting 700. They look pretty rare, so that looks all fine. You can go through the pages. You will also see the rarity rank. The rarity rank in this case is indexed by Trade Sniper. So if you have this Trade Sniper icon here, then the rarity ranking of Trade Sniper is going to be used. And you can now also set additional filters. So you can say, I only want to target any asset which is at the same time of having one of these 31 trades in the top 2,000 ranks. This means now, okay, so 697 of the 703 are also a top 2,000 rank. So, you can set additional filters to filter more into your assets. And then you can create the token bidding task here. On one force, top trades. You define a wallet. You say outbidding. I want to pay between 10 to 5% below floor price. Outbidding steps are 1%. Here you can also choose more. If you get into an outbidding war, the larger you choose the steps here, the faster you're gonna discover the maximum bid price. And you can say, okay, and those offers should be valid for 1 hour. I want to enable looping to make it restart once the first bid expires, and create the task. And now this task is created here in the token bidding task list. While the trade tasks, they are created here in the collection task section. Okay, here I need to check something. The profit margin seems odd. The profit margin, there is a bug. So I'm bidding this, and the trade floor price is this. I need to double check this. guess it's, but it will bid for, I mean, the config is clear. This one is going to take priority. I just need to check the profit margin calculation seems to be off here. And this error is OpenSea API right now, but we can see 10k TF. We created that task. This is the highest bid right now, and this is what we bid. JT, I need to mute you 1 second. Let's see how outlive you really are. Yes, although not strong. Here, okay. So let's have a look at questions. Okay, can you explain how to show the name on OpenSea with the name change in the last update? Total cabos. I didn't get that one. So maybe rephrase it. Then we have Secure Bay. So Secure Bay is max 20 collection bidding for all wallet or for each wallet. This is for all wallets. You can add as many wallets as you want in NFT Butler. And it's useful to add multiple wallets, also to split your liquidity on a per wallet basis on, what is how many bits can be accepted at once. But the task limits, they are overall regardless on how many wallets you run them. Basically the limits also for token bidding tasks, they are mainly enforced by OpenSea. So OpenSea only allows up to about 6,000 bits per hour, and they will rate limit your IP address if you do more. Yes, per NFT Butler license, Alex. Thank you so much. So this looping feature work also when the computer shut down or only when online? The looping feature and also this collection task engine, it all works with the application. So you need to run NFT Butler somewhere on a computer which is 24/7 online. This can be a virtual private server or your local computer, but whatever system it's running on, it needs to be up and running. And NFT Butler or the engine behind it will basically always check, what bid should be placed next, what are other bidding, and yeah, make sure you can stay on top. Any other questions at this point? I mean, as a general note, I think so. Collection and trade bidding tasks, they are nice to run on a large set of tokens, right? I mean, I can place here one collection bidding task or one collection bid for an entire collection. Everyone can accept it, but especially for collection bidding, I think it's a race to the least profit. So most collections here, they do already have a very minimal profit span or profit margin because the highest bids are so close to the floor price. So if you want to make money, I think the easiest right now is either bid based on ranking. So on a lot of collections, I just create token bidding task on the, let's say, top 20% or maybe 25% of the collection, because usually when you get one of these, and I still set a very low bidding price. So for example, here, this one I run since weeks. I go on little patches on the top 3,000, so this is about 15% of the collection. I still bid below the floor price, but very close to the floor price. And when you hit one of these, and I hit maybe 2 a week, you will be able to sell them at least 10 to 20% above the floor price, just because they are so rare and they are going to be picked up pretty quickly. So this is one of the, and also when running token bidding tasks, you will outbid everything else, right? So whenever a token bid is processed here, it will basically check what other bids are active on this particular asset, what collection bids are active on this asset, and also what trade bids are active on all of the trades of each individual asset. So here you should really end up on every single token as the highest bidder, which makes it more likely to win bids. Here on collection bidding tasks, you actually don't know if even if you own the highest collection or trade bid, you have no idea if this is actually ending up being one of the highest bids on each of the individual assets. Because there could still be someone who just runs through every token one by one and bids higher. But the scope of this task is the trade or the collection. So we cannot check, okay, what bids are on these all assets having this trade, because if you check what bids are active on all the NFTs having this trade or from this collection, you end up with a lot of different numbers, but you don't know why those numbers are there, right? Because they have higher bids because they do also own another trade. So, the trade collection task is really just this trade. And every assumption about why assets have higher bids is unknown. You don't know why are there higher bids. Is it because of another trade, or why is there higher bids, right? Hope that makes sense. So I still run a lot of token bidding tasks, or sometimes also, so I'm running here a lot of trade bidding tasks, and I usually look for trades. I mean, they're not running right now because of the OpenSea issue. It's really bad timing for the AMA today, but hopefully tomorrow it's going to be better. But usually when I search for trades, I look for trades which are very valuable. Also always well above the collection floor price traded, and no one else is doing trade bidding on it. Usually I try to avoid races with other, so I try to find trades where no one is bidding yet, and I feel they are going to be valuable on this collection. So on like most of these, I ended up as the highest bidder, and still bidding, I think, slightly below or above floor price. So here I'm still slightly below floor price. Yeah. We got another question from Secure Bay. The section of holding days doesn't seems to work very properly. I cannot prove strongly. Okay. For example, when I set min holding days like 1, 2, assets number highly decreasing. Okay, let's have a look at this. So let's create a token bidding task on OneForce. Min holding days. So we have 7,775 items. Let's first check this. Okay, 2 more. We are 2 off, but that's okay. Then if we set min holding days 1. So now we exclude all the assets which are traded yesterday or in the last 24 hours. So we should end up with something 7,600. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this seems to be slightly off. I will take a note. So basically for every asset we register when it was last traded. And we will then take a timestamp, and this minimum holding days basically should check when was the item last sold, and is it within 1 day or max day, but it seems to be slightly off. I need to check what's wrong there. check mean max holding days filter. To be honest, I usually didn't use that one very often, so I usually use a lot the rank filtering and also the minimum trade floor price in ETH and maximum trade floor price in ETH. So this one, if you set this to 1 ETH, it will only target NFTs which have at least one trade with a floor price of 1 ETH. So for all assets, it will check all its trades and then only select NFTs which have at least one trade above this filter level. So we can check now. We can also see this top trade floor price here. So this is basically the value we are filtering for. And we are ending up with about 1500 assets we are targeting with this task. And we will go next and configure the task and start it. And it would land here. Yes, again, as explanation, so for token bidding tasks, you can have up to 4 in the running section here. Each one is going to have a throughput of about between 800 and 1400 bits per hour. Depends a bit on the load on the OpenSea APIs. And you can have as many as you want in your queue. So whenever one finishes here, it will pick up the next one. Those here, they are delayed because they already finished. And they will basically wait to reschedule until the first bid expires. So here in 1 hour or here in 4 minutes, first bid will expire and we will start reprocessing them. And you can have up to 100 in your unscheduled section here. This is basically your storage. Any other questions from the audience? I will also check the other chats to see if I missed something. Don't think so. Auto listing. Yes, this is a feature which is most wanted, I think, and definitely something we have on the roadmap. So right now we are really specializing on the bidding part to get all those bids out there as quickly as possible and get NFTs as cheap as possible. And one of the most wanted features is auto listing, which would basically add a section or a new menu to NFT Butler where you can define if a bid was accepted. Let me automatically list it, I don't know, 20% below the trade floor price and decreasing the price every 4 hours up to a minimum profit margin compared to the accepted bid, something like that. And yes, this is something we are looking into and can hopefully integrate into the product. Also some other discussions which were going on the last few days. So people have seen, when you place a bid on a collection and you get immediately outbid by other bot users, this is also something we want to improve in the future. And there are different or key vectors how can this be achieved. So whenever you end up in let's say on a collection, when you end up on a bidding race with other bot users, in the end it's always gonna turn out who has the higher max bid price configured. So actually, when doing, first people were asking, can we do these collection bids every 10 seconds? So just to make sure we will outbid each other as quickly as possible. From a technical point of view, I feel like this is bad technical design, because actually what we want to do is discovering the max bid price of both parties, and in the end it comes down to risk management, right? Who is try or willing to risk more or pay a higher price for this trade or this collection. So instead of checking all those tasks every 10 seconds, putting pressure on the resources, on our backend, on the OpenSea API, on the indexers, because we end up having thousands of bits, and then the other bots come and do also thousands of bits. I'm thinking about all automatic outbid strategy option here. So instead of always outbidding by 1%, you can choose auto. And auto would do something like it would calculate where is the current bid level and how far is the current bid level from your max bid price. Let's say you have something like this, and the current highest bid is maybe just slightly above this min bid price level. If this would be the case, then we would outbid maybe by 20%. So skipping maybe half between your min and max bid price level, because you still have room to grow up to your max bid price. So then the other bot now needs to decide, am I willing to pay more for this? And if yes, he will. And maximum 5 minutes later, we will come back, we will outbid him again. And we will again take a larger step towards our max bid price level. And the closer we get to the max bid price, the smaller the outbidding steps will be. And the idea is to get to a max bid price discovery from both sides as quickly as possible, as efficient as possible, by not, having to place thousands of bids, and hopefully still ending as the highest bidder. But yeah, if you end up as the highest bidder in outbidding wars, really depends on what do you set here and what is your risk you're willing to take. And I think just because someone outbids you doesn't mean it's worth it. So I have a lot of tasks usually running where I don't end up as the highest bidder, but I just configure it within a reasonable price range for for my risk management and my bidding strategy, and they can run for a week. Maybe they don't hit something, but at some point they will hit something again because no one else is trying this or trying that risk, and you can still profit. So I think don't orient on the others too much. Just set what you feel comfortable with, let it run, and Butler will do its job for you. Alex has a question. Alex, is it possible to have some kind of listening task that detects when someone lists a token for sale and instantly places a bid on it? Right now, we don't have such listening tasks. It's something we have in our community vote channel as one of the feature requests set up for voting, but it's already a little bit older. What we can do on token bidding tasks, it's not instantly putting, but you can here you can say I only want to bid on listed items. So if you set this one, I only want to bid on items listed up to this price, or maybe this. We can see what it would target right now. 22 items. So this is a very quick task, right? I mean, 22 items are currently listed below this price. You can run a task now. It will automatically bid on the 22, and you can set the validity to a minimum of 15 minutes. So then every 15 minutes, it will basically bid on all listed items between your below your filter criteria. So this is how you can achieve it. It's not instant, but at least every 15 minutes, checking all the listed assets, and you can bid on them. You can also do the same for last sales price. So here you would target holders in profit or in loss. So here you would basically compare what is the current floor price or what was the last sale price, and with the current floor price you can calculate holders in loss or in profit since they bought. Any other questions? Again, for those who are new, you can download NFT Butler for free on our homepage. You can run it. You will have to set up an Infura API key, which is used to process bits, and you can add a wallet. Wallets are added with the private key. Never share your private key anywhere else. We will never ask you for your private key, but the private key is necessary to be used in NFT Butler, because NFT Butler will basically automate all your biddings, and to send a bid to OpenSea, you will have to sign your transaction, and the private key is needed for this. But the whole reason why NFT Butler is designed as a desktop application is to store your private key encrypted on your local computer only. So this private key is never going to be sent anywhere. It's stored strongly encrypted on your local computer. This is also why NFT Butler is not a web application, it's a desktop application. Then you give it a name, your wallet. You can add it like this, and then you can use it in tasks. And then even without the license, you can start using the search engine, checking out all the various trades. I think already these pages where you can see all the trades and what is the floor price of each trade is already a great tool to do research and find trades you would like to do bidding on. Yeah, I think you can also create collection tasks without a license. You can just not run it. So you cannot start the engine, you cannot start token bidding tasks without an active subscription. Ruxbunny asks, sorry if someone asked this before. Do we need to leave the bot running, or does it stop when we close our laptop? You need to have it running. This app, but it does, there are no pop-ups or anything, so you can just make it small, do something else, game on your computer, but the computer needs to be up and running at all times to process these bits. Some of our users also use a virtual private server, so like a virtual machine somewhere in the internet, where you can install NFT Butler and run it from there. This is a possibility. Just be aware that your private keys are stored encrypted, of course, in NFT Butler, but you can run it somewhere else, so you don't have to keep your laptop running all day. Any tips to find profitable trade bidding collections? So usually what I do, and I'm not the most experienced trade bidder, but in our last AMA session, we had a guest who is very successful with trade bidding. One of his tips was to look for trades who are an entire other tier. So let's maybe find an example here. I think this one was one. No, it's not. It's Rebelbots, I think. Let's check. Not too sure, but let's have a look. No, it's also not. find the example. Let's just scroll through. Maybe if I look for bot, have a look at something token. Okay, token. This one. Yes, that's perfect. So here we have a very clear rarity. And there is a ton of collections which have a trait type like tier or level or rarity, like common, uncommon, rare, epic. So a lot of trade, or Ethereal, who does a lot of trade bidding, he said he looks for collections who have a clear trait defining the tier level or the rarity of a token. And then he will also check, what is the floor price of each individual tier. So rare tokens are traded at 0.07 ETH, while common tokens are traded at half the price. And then Epic, I guess, is even higher. Epic are at 0.22 ETH, and Legendary again are way higher. Yeah. So as long as you have a clear, very clear distinguish, or best is also if the collection has some real use case. NFT Butler is also built at some point in the future. We will see computer games using NFTs as in-game assets, right? As soon as you go into these markets, you basically need to understand the market, what traits are setting those NFTs apart from others because you maybe have a slight advantage in the game. That's trait you want to target for bidding because they bring a real added value. And second thing you should check on collections like this if those higher tiers are still traded. So we can clearly see a few hours ago. So and this was a snipe here, right? Because here someone traded his rare NFT for the same price as the common one. So here someone can make a good flip. You can still see here the very rare thing is still traded. Maybe the floor price is around 0.05 here. Yeah, they are still traded. This one as well for 3 days ago. Yeah, the volume is always a little bit something you need to check. What volume, how much sales do you want to see on a daily base at least to feel comfortable trading this collection. So yeah, if you have so get back to the question, if you have trades like these which really define a whole new level tier of the collection, then this is the best you can target, right? This is the easiest for targeting certain trades. And usually when I go for just normal avatar collections, I usually just search for like gold and diamond and stuff. Everyone wants to have gold or diamond. Nothing here, or laser. No laser here. Laser with S. No laser. Only gold on this collection. So I usually just check, what you can also achieve the same just by setting this minimum trade floor price to something very high, and you will automatically discover what are the most viable trades, basically. Yes, and then I usually check first, is this trade floor price really set apart from the collection floor price at all times in the last 60 days? Then I also check what price level are people bidding. Usually, if the bidding price is still around collection floor price, then I will enter the bidding war, and if not, I look for trades which no one else is bidding. That's, it's always great if you can define your own trade bid floor price. And I also check, how recently they were sold and what was, how does the price structure of the last sales event look like? Just to get an idea, and then take the lowest as an indicator. Sorry, just had to plug in my microphone. Can you still hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, we got some new questions. Could you please comment my last suggestion? Are they possible technical? I asked the question here. Let me jump to it. And let me share this. Single versus collection bids. The individual bids cannot be exceeded because did not see the collection bids. Maybe you can make a collection offer too, but for some collections we may have to choose a singular offer. Can't compete with them. So I don't get this one, to be honest. So collection bids are on an entire collection, single bids are on an asset. You can never do single bids on a collection, right? Because the assets has individual trades with individual trade floor prices and gets a value by the combination of all its trades. While collection bids is just a bid level spread across the entire collection. Setting the bidding frequency. Currently, we cannot set the expiration time of the bid. We can set this. In its current form, the bidding frequency is the same as the expiration time for looping. The option can also be added. Aha, currently we can only set the expiration time of the bid. Yes, we can. In this current form, the bidding frequency is the same as the expiration time for looping. Yes, you're right. I got this feature request already many times. We are planning to add for token bidding tasks here. We are planning to add an option here where you can define if it should wait for the first bid to expire, or what should be the looping cycle. Should it just immediately start again? This is something we want to improve also with the auto outbidding steps to be more competitive when outbidding others, basically. And auto listing would be great. Yes, completely agree. We have already discussed it. Auto listing would be great. Then we have Alex. For traders in the last X days, what kind of number are usually looking for as a minimum? This depends a lot. So I also know some, like Ethereal said, he goes for collections with very low numbers, and he basically looks for collections with, low numbers who do still trade very rare trades at high prices. I think it's very risky, but everything about NFT bidding and trading is risk management in the end. And the more risks you're willing to take, the more profit you can make, I guess. So I usually go for very safe numbers, like at least 10 sales per day to have a minimum volume on this collection, so I know I can sell at floor price rather quickly if I have to. And usually I promote low risk strategies since I don't want our customers to lose money. But best is to try it out. But yeah, for you, Alex, just as a reminder, so E3 last time really showed some collections which maybe have just, one sale every 2 or 3 days. But most of the sales who are still going are very rare NFTs of this collection. So when he saw those, he just started bidding on the very rare NFTs at floor price level, hoping for someone to sell his NFT and getting a nice flip out of it. I'm checking the main chat. Okay, Timmy Classic is there. We have another question in the voice chat. My first suggestion was meant, for example, somebody bids zero point 0.1 with a collection bid, but max bid of mine is over 0.1, but doesn't exceed the collection offer. Okay, again. Someone bids 0.1 with a collection bid. But your max bid is over 0.1. It will exceed the collection offer. Or what I'm not. So when you do token bidding tasks, it will also outbid collection offers and trade offers. Yes, that works. So when all the assets here are processed, for every asset we will check the individual bits on the token. We will check what is the current collection offer level, and also what are the trade offer levels for all the trades of this asset, and it will outbid all of them. While trade offers are the least accurate. We are trying to keep all the trade offer data up to date, but it might not always be 100% up to date due to we can only get so and so much data from OpenSea per second. But collection bidding data is retrieved live from OpenSea. So whenever we process one of these, we do a live request to OpenSea asking for what is the collection offer price, the highest one, and what are all the bids on this asset, the individual bids. And we are also fetching the trade offer data from our database to figure out what is the bid price required to outbid everyone else. Any other questions? We can also start this task. So we have created, so just to show how the engine works. What task do I, this one I'm running since days and didn't hit anything. So I'm pausing this one. It's now in the queue. I will be picked up if someone of these finishes. And I can start now on one task task we created earlier, where we selected 31 trades, all with a floor price of at least 2 ETH, I think. And only the top 2000, like 700 bits. And you can see it started now. We can check the logs. Since I'm targeting very, very rare trades, it seems way higher bids are already active. But you can always try. I have seen people accepting my very low bid while much higher bids were active on the same asset. So you never know if someone misclicks or just thinks you're a nice guy and want to make you a favor. Or maybe all of these bids expire at some point, and at the point someone wants to accept a bid, there is non-active, but only mine. You can always try. It's a numbers game in the end. Surfing Man, let's give it a try. Thank you. Can I ask for a trial? Yes, sure. Create a ticket and you will get a weekly trial to try the software. Pigan, again, question on bidding tips. How long do you usually put as a duration for token bidding? So for token bidding, I usually calculate with around 1000 bits per hour. And I want to make the validity align as much as I can with the processing time of the total tokens. So here I put 2 hours, I could put 1.5. Best is really, once it's finished, it will start again or only have a minimum waiting time until it starts bidding again. It also depends a little bit how many collections and tasks are you processing. So if you want to process, let's say 8 or 12, maybe use this one a little longer because in the, when it finished after 1.5 hours, other tasks can grab this spot and run for half an hour before this one is trying to grab a spot again. So as you see here, it also depends a bit. If you feel like the collection is moving or can move fast in floor price because it's maybe very, very young, then I would put lower validity. And if it's a collection for months and is very stable, you can put longer validity times since those bits can be kept active, other tasks can run in the meantime, and once they expire, it can come back and run again. You see here, so here I put too long. This is still waiting for 2 hours. Maybe 3 hours would be enough, but those are collections I'm bidding since months, so I feel very comfortable. I always hit here and there one of these NFTs, I flip them, and I know floor price is moving slightly, but not too much. Then I put longer, and here I have very small tasks, only special trades or top ranks, where I target very, very few. I should put like 1 hour here. 2 hours is way too much for like 300 bits. Yeah, but the longer you put, the more tasks you can run, right? Because tasks can wait until reprocess. Yeah, hope this makes sense. Awesome. For everyone who doesn't have access to NFT Butler, you can either create a ticket and get a 1-week trial for free. You can also just download it and install it for free. You can buy a monthly access for $90 and you will get instant full access to all the features and all the tasks and everything. And you can also download it for free, as already mentioned, install it and just play around with it to see if it catches your fancy. Awesome. If no more questions are here, thank you so much for this AMA. I'm going to be in holidays next week, but we will have another AMA session in 2 weeks. But the team is going to be around, of course, next week as well. And enjoy the evening. Thank you so much for joining and looking forward to the next AMA. Thank you so much, guys.